Fall-like temperatures are here, and this is without a doubt the best time of year to take your lawn to the next level. Having the right sequence of events and timing for the work that you put into your lawn this fall is something that's going to save you time, money, and can help you become the envy of all your neighbors. So where do you start? That's the question everybody has, and I would recommend starting by figuring out what are your goals for your lawn. For most people, those goals are the same. I want to eliminate my weeds and I want to thicken up my grass and get a nice thick green lawn. We can do that all right now, so let's get started. So if you want to overhaul your lawn this fall, the first thing I would recommend looking at is the forecast. The forecast and the weather is something that's going to dictate what you do more than anything. If you have temperatures in the 90s, reaching 100 degrees, that is not the time to try to be doing anything in your lawn, and you're in survival mode. Today is August 17th, and we've had cooler than typical temperatures, which makes this the ideal time to get a jump start on your fall lawn renovation. That first step you want to take when it comes to overhauling your lawn is getting your weeds under control. If you have a few weeds here and there, or you've got a lawn full of weeds, making sure you take care of those is the first step in getting that beautiful lawn that you want. Because if you don't get rid of those weeds, they're going to compete for nutrients and water with your healthy lawn. It makes it very difficult to get the goals that you're looking for. So how do we go about taking care of those weeds in your lawn? Like most things, you have some different options of what you can do. Probably the most simple option would be using something called weed and feed. Weed and feed has food for your lawn, which is going to feed your grass, but it also has weed killer in it that's going to kill those weeds that you have in your lawn. It's probably not listed to kill all weeds, so take a look and see what your main weeds are that you have an issue with, and see if that weed and feed is designed to take care of those things. With weed and feed, if you plan on seeding or doing an overseeding project, please understand that you have to wait at least 6 weeks after applying your weed and feed before you can put down grass seed for that to germinate. Option number 2 is using what's called a selective herbicide, and probably one of the most popular options you're going to see is called Ortho Weed Clear, or what used to be called Weed Be Gone. And this is a selective herbicide, which means you spray it on the weeds that you have. It's going to kill the weeds, but not your grass. So this is a little bit more fine-tuned than the weed and feed. You can walk around and just look to see those weeds that you have and spray them individually instead of blanket treating everything, which you probably don't really need to do. Weed Clear works well, but it's common that you're going to have multiple applications of that, and it's not quite as potent as some of the other options that you can choose from. That Ortho Weed Clear, you can get a hose end attachment for that just goes right on the end of your hose and you spray it out on your weeds. Or you can get the type of concentrate that you put into your sprayer that allows you to walk around, find your weeds, and spray them individually. After using something like Ortho Weed Clear, it's recommended that you wait about 4 weeks before you do any kind of seeding. So that means any seeding projects or overseeding that you want to do, it's not going to work unless you wait that 4 weeks. So that's why the timing piece is so important in the fall. If you do this, sometimes you can't do that. So having that sequence of events and planning things out is going to help you maximize your fall. The next option is one that I think is going to give you the best results, and that's using a product called Speed Zone. Speed Zone is a selective herbicide as well, but it's more heavily concentrated than Ortho Weed Clear. It's got dicamba and 2,4-D at a higher concentration, and it's designed to kill some of the most common weeds that you may have, like dandelions, clover, spurge, all those things that pop up in your lawn and make things look less than ideal. One other really important reason I would go with Speed Zone is because you only have to wait 2 weeks after using that before you can seed again. After you've taken care of those weeds in your lawn, the next thing you want to do is try to build up the strength of your turf, and one of the best ways to do that is by overseeding your lawn. Overseeding is just adding in new grass seed to the existing lawn that you have to thicken up your turf, bring in new varieties of grass that are going to improve your stress tolerance, your disease resistance, and there's so many benefits to overseeding your lawn. Overseeding is best done for cool season grass like I have around the beginning of September, because what you want to do is establish that grass and give it some time to mature and dig down some roots before you get that first frost or freeze of the season. So you get a short period of time. If you wait too long, you're out of luck. If you do it too early, you may get a heat wave that's going to take care of that grass as well and kill things off. So it can be tricky, but typically the beginning of September is a great time to overseed your lawn if you live in a climate similar to mine. I've done this the last few years, and it has taken my lawn to the next level. The 2 steps I always like to take before I overseed my lawn is 1, starting by dethatching. Power raking, scarifying, whatever you want to call it, scratching at the surface of the soil to lift up any of those dead grass blades or any of that thatch layer, which is a spongy layer that sits on top of the soil that can prevent your grass seed from getting down into the dirt, because if it doesn't get down to the dirt or the soil area, it's not going to germinate. So going through with a dethatcher, tearing all that old stuff up, it's going to make your lawn look worse for a little bit, but like any renovation, things are going to look worse before they look better. So going through with that dethatcher, you can hire this service out, or I have an electric dethatcher that I use that does a really great job of tearing things up, opening things up, and giving yourself a bed for that seed to fall into for your overseed. After dethatching your lawn, the next thing you want to do before you do your overseed is aerating your grass. This is a simple service that you can hire out. It costs about $75 for a 5,000 square foot lawn like I have. You can try to do it manually like I've done in the past, but that is a lot of time and effort. But aerating is going to create some holes in your ground. It's going to pull plugs, which alleviate some of that compaction that you have. It allows water, air, and nutrients to get down into your roots. And when you're overseeding, those grass seeds can fall down into those little holes that you have, which is going to keep it right in that soil, and it's going to help you grow a thick, green, beautiful carpet like you see behind me. So you've killed off your weeds, you've taken care of those, you dethatched, you aerated, you've put some serious time and effort into this. Now it's time to do your overseed. When you do your overseed project, I highly recommend getting a quality grass seed. You're going to have to spend a little bit more for that, but the more you spend, the less weed seeds you're going to get, and you're going to get a better strain of grass that's going to be more disease resistant, drought tolerant, all the things that you're looking for in a grass seed. So spending a little bit more up front is going to give you the absolute best results that you can get. The grass seed that you choose can be a preferential choice, and for me, my favorite type of grass seed that I've used in my backyard to overseed has been Perennial Rye Grass. One, because it germinates very quickly, and two, because it just has a beautiful dark green shiny look to it that I absolutely love. This area right here is all an example of Perennial Rye Grass that I seeded from dirt. We used to have a cutout where trees used to be here, and the Perennial Rye Grass throughout the season has been darker green. It has had zero disease issues or anything related to that, and it's really stood up well. And I put down Barenbrug regenerating perennial ryegrass, and one great thing about that is that it spreads like Kentucky bluegrass, but it has that beautiful look like perennial rye. The last step we want to try to optimize in the fall is one that is the most important, and that is fertilizing your grass. Not everybody needs to dethatch, aerate, and overseed. If you already have an existing lawn that's very thick, you don't have to do all that stuff. But fertilization is something that is key, and it's talked about all the time. Use this product, use that product, but rarely is it spoken of how much nitrogen should you be putting down your lawn throughout the season. If you put down too little, you're not thriving. If you put down too much, you can get disease and other problems. Ideally, what we want to put down, studies have shown that between 3 and 5 pounds of nitrogen throughout the season is the ideal mark that you want to try to get to. I personally only put down about 1 pound of nitrogen in the spring, and then I try to get to 4 pounds by the end of the fall. So I have 3 pounds to put down in the fall, and we do that by either a granular or a liquid fertilizer. I have 2 main types of nitrogen that I like to use, urea-based and ammonium sulfate. And I try to put down 1 application of a urea, which is usually a liquid form. That's that green charge that I like to use. And then my next application, I want to put down an ammonium sulfate, which is typically a granular form. Alternating between those to try to get 3 pounds of nitrogen throughout the fall, and splitting up those applications about every 2 to 3 weeks. A ½ pound of nitrogen here, wait a couple weeks, apply another ½ pound of nitrogen there. When you've got the right plan of action and your timing is on point, it's going to save you time, money, and a lot of effort. Best of all, you're going to get the results that you're looking for. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.